Hello, hello, my beautiful beloveds. Thank you so much for your presence and for being here. Welcome to another episode of the Sensuality of Color. This is the show where we connect with color to see what intuitive messages might be coming through to support us on our sacred sexuality journey and our spiritual path. My guides have been trying to get me to do this for some time now, and I finally have been taking the plunge and been moving forward with it. So again, this is the third episode. For the very first time, I started divining with color here on YouTube, episode 1. I'd never done it before, but it was just like, okay, let's see what happens, because messages would come through for me in color during energy healing sessions and other experiences during my spiritual practice or such. Things show up in color and they have a real feeling to them, and there's wisdom behind the color and intuitive knowing that happens with the color. So my guides are like, you should start divining with color, which is reading messages in the color. So finally I am doing that, and we're just kind of exploring, playing and having fun and seeing what happens and what comes through. So I got some crayons and dumped them into a bowl, and then we just dig into the bowl and we pull out a color and see what messages come through. So thank you for being here. We're going to connect with our guides, with the Mother Earth, with beautiful Father Sun, with our archangels, all the frequencies that we connect with, anybody that supports us on our journey, any again frequencies that we can relate to them as entities or beings or angels or spirit animals, our higher self, our soul, source, whatever word resonates for you. It's all just beautiful frequencies that are supporting us on our journey and helping us to get more in alignment with our true selves, with love, with the truth of our divinity, free from fear. So we'll just take a moment to ground down. I find it's really beneficial for me to really just bring it down into my body. We can just be up in our heads, right? And to really open to messages and to receive, it's helpful to be grounded down. So I like to ground down into the earth, ground down into my body, and really move more from my pelvic region, which is the seat of my, physical experience. So just like, and then allow the channel to open and whatever is ready to come through. So with that, we will see what color wants to show up. We have indigo. It's a lovely indigo blue. What's coming through for me right now is a connection with our higher consciousness. How do we connect to our higher selves? What are the practices you have in play to really open to receive those intuitive messages? And do you allow them, or do you shut them down? Do you trust what comes through? And do you allow the process and allow it to flow? And when I'm thinking of this around sacred sexuality, or opening to this, trying not to think, actually allowing intuitive messages is trying to get out of the mind, right? And just allow what's coming through to flow, and then we trust that. But as this relates to sacred sexuality, and this is taking me into belief systems that we've taken on and are operating at a lower consciousness level, a subconscious level, right? So when we connect to our higher consciousness and we inquire to our higher consciousness around sacred sexuality and our sexual energy, what comes through for us? What are the messages that are ready to come through? When we quiet and still ourselves and allow that higher wisdom, allow our higher selves, allow our guides to guide us, what may be ready to be released, what isn't serving you and what isn't supporting you moving forward. And I know we talk about that a lot here on our channel, but the real importance around sacred sexuality and around sexuality is discovering what that means for you. What is it for yourself? What is sexual energy for you? What is sexual expression for you? It's a very personal experience and a personal journey. We've been taught so much in society what it's supposed to look like, what it does look like, what is sexy, what isn't, what is the appropriate way to be, how much we should want it, how much we shouldn't want it, what we should allow to express and what we should shut down, what we should hide, what we should shun, what we should shame, what is considered sinful, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. These are all of the things we have taken on from society, from our families, from the systems that we've grown up in. And not many of us have taken the time to just sit down and question, what does sexuality mean for me? What is my sexual energy? How do I want to express? What is actually real for me and authentic and true? When I started going on this journey, it was just, I learned about, this is what a healthy libido should be like. Oh, okay, well, I'm going to aspire to be like that. And then it was just like, well, who decided that? Who gets to say what a healthy libido is? So again, these constructs, even when we're trying to move into healthier ways and explore this, we can take it on from somebody else and what it's supposed to look like. When we need to question that as well. This is critical thinking, right? Which is so much. It's really coming into our power around our sexual energy and our sexual expression, which is a self-reflection. It is a deep dive. It is an exploration into our own essence, our own desire, our own wants and needs and longings and interests, right? What sparks, what turns you on? And I recommend going back to childhood and when sexuality first started coming online for you, what were you drawn to? What were you attracted to, right? And that's kind of a more fresh and innocent experience before it kind of gets tainted and shut down, right? And not for everybody, of course. And I'm generalizing here. It tends to be the way for many of us, right? So if that's not your experience, that's totally fine. But for a lot of people, it is. So, but again, what is it for you? What does your authentic, heart-based, higher self, your soul, have to say to you about your own sexual energy? And how can you get more in alignment with that? And how can you open up to that energy more and more, and release the systems, the beliefs that aren't serving you, and try on new ones, right? Because some of this, again, it's an exploration. Just because we're self-reflecting doesn't mean the answers are always going to come, right? And it is a journey, and it's learning boundaries, how to say yes, how to say no, how to try some new things, right? In a safe environment with somebody who's also on this path. I really highly recommend that if you're moving into this, somebody else who's very interested in being conscious around their sexuality too, and recognizes there's some things to unpack here, right? And a new way to experience our sexual and sensual energies and our bodies. And so it's especially if you're in partnership, it can be really challenging when you're ready to explore some more of this new way. and the other person is not. So it can be hard to move forward in that way. So how can you do this with yourself, for yourself, and just open up to that exploration for yourself, and just step into your power? Because again, that energy can, when we're doing that work and we're doing it for ourselves, the energy can spread and can deeply affect those around us without us having to like pressure them into getting on board with what we're doing. You know, people can get interested, and again, the energy is kind of infectious and can affect people in ways that aren't conscious for them, and it can open things up and awaken them too. So, but really important to just go on that journey for ourselves. And if we do have a partner and we're in a relationship and they're supportive and curious as well, that's amazing. But, you know, oftentimes that's not the case. So that's what's coming through for me with blue. And I, with this indigo blue in particular, to the beginning one had some blue as well. And it was different messages that were coming through though. You know, blue is our, I guess that's our throat chakra. So that's, but that's not what was coming through. So I'm going to scrap that. That's thinking about it too much. We're really just opening to what does intuitively come through. And if you have associations that you're making with this color and whatever is coming through for you, trust that as well. Trust your own intuitive messages, right? This is just what came through for me. But the idea is to just like, you know, maybe, yeah, what is this blue color saying to you, and how is it supporting you on your journey? What's it opening up for you? You know, feel free to share in the comments, and because I'd love to hear. So it's a fun new way of connecting with our intuition and seeing what opens up. Because again, this was interesting because blue was a very different, you know, message a couple of not days ago, but episodes back. So anyway, thank you. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. So thank you to our dear spirit guides and higher selves, and Mother Earth and Father Sun, and to our angels and everybody we're connecting with. Thank you so much for supporting us on our sacred sexuality journey, and coming more into our hearts and into self-love, and more empowered, passionate, sexy, sensual, supportive, and nourishing connections with ourselves, with the divine, with each other. That's what this channel is all about. And so much self-love. So please feel free to check out the rest of my YouTube channel for so much more to support you on your sacred sexuality journey and your spiritual path. And also please be sure to visit my website for so much more. There's resources, there's sessions, there's pilgrimages, there's programs, there's community events, so we can do this together and connect with each other and have a lot of fun supporting each other on this sacred sexuality journey. It's really, really gorgeous to connect and support each other. So wishing you a gorgeous day and so much empowerment and self-love, and thank you again for being here. I appreciate you. Bye everybody.